Are you a fan of horror movies? Do you like to test your limits and face your fears? If so, then this video is for you. We have compiled a list of 10 horror movies that are so scary and disturbing that they are hard to watch. How many of them have you seen? Number 1. Martyrs, 2008. Martyrs 2008 is a film that belongs to the new French extremity movement, which is known for its extreme and transgressive content. The film does not follow the typical conventions of horror, but instead explores the themes of suffering, pain, and martyrdom in a very realistic and brutal way. The film shows the horrific abuse and torture of 2 young women by a secret cult that wants to create martyrs who can witness the afterlife. The film does not shy away from showing the graphic details of the violence such as blood, gore, mutilation, and flaying. The film also does not offer any relief or hope for the victims, who are subjected to endless agony and despair. The film challenges the viewer's endurance and empathy, as well as their moral and philosophical views of life and death. The film has been described as relentlessly dishes the visceral pain, uncomfortable to watch, and one of the most violent films ever made. Many viewers have walked out or felt sick while watching the film. Number 2. The Human Centipede, 2011. The Human Centipede is a film that is widely regarded as one of the most disturbing and disgusting horror movies ever made. The film is a sequel to the original film that showed a mad doctor who sewed 3 people together, mouth to anus, to create a human centipede. The sequel follows a mentally disabled and obsessed fan of the first film who decides to recreate the experiment with 12 victims in a filthy warehouse. The film is extremely graphic and explicit, showing the torture, mutilation, and humiliation of the victims in gruesome detail. The film has no redeeming value or artistic merit and is only meant to shock and repulse the audience. Many critics and viewers have condemned the film as vile, sickening, and obscene. The film is very hard to watch because it does not offer any suspense, humor, or empathy, but only relentless and sadistic violence. Number 3. The Exorcist, 1973. The Exorcist, 1973 is a film that combines supernatural horror with psychological drama, creating a sense of dread and terror that is hard to shake off. The film tells the story of a young girl, Reagan, who is possessed by a demonic entity that manifests itself through her body and voice. The film shows the horrific effects of possession, such as levitation, vomiting, head spinning, and speaking in tongues. The film also depicts the desperate attempts of 2 priests, Father Karras and Father Merrin, to exorcise a demon and save Reagan's soul. The film is widely regarded as one of the scariest films ever made because it uses realistic and convincing special effects, eerie sound design, and a haunting score to create an atmosphere of fear and suspense. Number 4. The Girl Next Door. The Girl Next Door, 2007, is a film based on the true story of a teenage girl, Meg, who was tortured and abused by her aunt, Ruth, and her children in the 1960s. The film is unflinching in its portrayal of the horrific acts inflicted as Meg, such as starvation, beating, burning, cutting, and rape. The film does not spare the viewer from witnessing the pain and suffering of Meg, who is helpless and innocent. The film also shows the moral dilemma of David, a boy who befriends Meg and tries to save her but is afraid of Ruth and her sons. The film has been described as a deeply disturbing tale of truth, a challenge to the viewer's endurance and stomach, and an excellent horror movie. Number 5. The Last Exorcism, 2010. The Last Exorcism is a film that follows a fraudulent exorcist, Cotton Marcus, who agrees to document his final case, only to find out that the girl he is supposed to cure, Neil Sweetser, is actually possessed by a demonic force. The film is a found footage horror that uses realistic effects and scares, as well as a twist ending that leaves the viewer unsettled. The film is widely regarded as one of the scariest films ever made because it creates a sense of dread and terror that is hard to shake off. The film shows the horrifying effects of the possession, such as levitating, vomiting, head spinning, and speaking in tongues. The film also depicts the desperate attempts of Cotton and his crew to exorcise the demon and save Nell's soul. The film uses realistic and convincing special effects, eerie sound design, and a haunting score to create an atmosphere of fear and suspense. The film also explores the themes of faith, doubt, evil, and suffering, challenging the viewer's beliefs and emotions. The film has terrified generations of viewers with its disturbing images, sounds, and themes. Number 6. Saw, 2004. Saw, 2004 is a film that follows 2 men who wake up chained in a filthy bathroom and are forced to play a twisted game by a sadistic serial killer known as Jigsaw. The film is widely regarded as one of the scariest films ever made because it uses realistic and gruesome effects, clever and nasty traps, and a deceptively clever plot to create a sense of fear and suspense. The film shows the horrifying effects of the traps such as blood, gore, mutilation, and death. The film also depicts the desperate attempts of the victims to escape their fate and the shocking twists and revelations that reveal Jigsaw's motives and identity. Number 7. I Spit on Your Grave, 2010. I Spit on Your Grave 2010 is a film that follows a woman, Jennifer, who is brutally raped and left for dead by a group of men and then seeks bloody revenge on them. The film is disturbing for its realistic and graphic depiction of rape and violence and has been criticised for its misogyny and exploitation. The film is hard to watch because it does not offer any comfort or escape, but only confronts the viewer with the reality of human evil and suffering. The film shows the horrifying effects of the rape, such as blood, gore, mutilation, and death. The film also depicts the cruel and sadistic revenge that Jennifer inflicts on her attackers, using various tools and methods. The film uses realistic and gruesome effects, clever and nasty traps, and a deceptively clever plot to create a sense of fear and suspense. The film also explores the themes of trauma, justice, and morality, challenging the viewer's morals and emotions. The film has been described as a well-shot exploitation that has less purpose and utility than in 1978. Vile, sickening, and obscene, and a deeply disturbing tale of truth. Number 8! The Vanishing, 1988. The Vanishing, 1988 is a film that follows a man who searches obsessively for his girlfriend who disappeared in a rest area and the man who kidnapped her. The film is widely regarded as one of the scariest films ever made because it uses realistic and psychological effects, a clever and suspenseful plot, and a shocking and unforgettable ending to create a sense of fear and terror. The film shows the horrifying effects of the kidnapping, such as the pain and suffering of the victim and the twisted and perverse motives of the kidnapper. The film also depicts the desperate attempts of the boyfriend to find out the truth and the shocking choice he has to make to do so. The film uses realistic and convincing effects, eerie sound design, and a haunting score to create an atmosphere of fear and suspense. The film is hard to watch because it does not offer any comfort or escape, but only confronts the viewer with the reality of human evil and suffering. Number 9! The Strangers, 2008. The Strangers is a film that follows a couple whose 3 masked intruders terrorize them in their isolated vacation home. The film is widely regarded as one of the scariest films ever made because it uses realistic and psychological effects, a clever and suspenseful plot, and a shocking and unforgettable ending to create a sense of fear and terror. The film shows the horrifying effects of the invasion, such as blood, gore, violence, and death. The film also depicts the cruel and sadistic motives of the strangers who have no reason or remorse for their actions. Number 10! The Last House on the Left, 2009. The Last House on the Left, 2009, is a film that follows a couple who 3 masked intruders theorize is their isolated vacation home. The film is widely regarded as one of the scariest films ever made because it uses realistic and gruesome effects, a clever and suspenseful plot, and a shocking and unforgettable ending to create a sense of fear and terror. The film shows the horrifying effects of the invasion, such as blood, gore, violence, and death. The film also depicts the cruel and sadistic motives of the strangers who have no reason or remorse for their actions. These films are not for the faint of heart, and they will challenge your endurance and stomach. They are disturbing, gruesome, and terrifying, and they will haunt you for a long time. Do you agree with our list? Which horror movie do you think is the hardest to watch? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more horror content.